We're going to be scraping Etsy and Google Sheets, and my name is Mr. Mark of Mr. Mark Teach, which is a collection of tutorials and resources, mostly spreadsheets that I've been creating and distributing for a number of years. And with this particular project, it's going to be a public project where everyone can have access to it. You can have access to all of the code and the Etsy scraper, so you can actually use it for your own personal use. Now, the first thing I'm going to look at is how to actually scrape Etsy in Google Sheets at no cost, which is an important part of this, that it will not actually cost anything to do this. So first of all, in order to scrape Etsy without paying for any kind of software, we will build the scraper completely within Google Apps Script, which is a coding language that works on Google Sheets. Number two, we will scrape only public data, meaning data that is viewable to everyone, meaning anyone who goes online and goes to Etsy.com can see this same data, titles, prices, images, so on and so forth. Thirdly, the scraping is happening on Google's side and has nothing to do with our account or browser, so that can put you at ease. I've heard people who say they're concerned that of scraping sites directly, that somehow if they're accessing too much data, maybe they can be blocked or something. But that's not the case, because you're not even scraping the site, right? Google's actually scraping the site. It has nothing to do with your account, nothing to do with your browser. It's all happening inside of Google Sheets on Google's servers. Okay. The sites that cannot be scraped, such as now eBay, also cannot be scraped in this manner unless you have API. Amazon cannot be scraped in this manner either. Those sites are already blocked anyway, as far as using the method that I'm going to be using. So the fact that you can actually pull Etsy, which I've already tested, the fact that you can pull the data means that you can do it in Google Sheets with no problem. Okay, now here are the major steps to building a scraper in Google Sheets. First of all, we're going to create functions that actually connect to Etsy and pull web page content from listings. That's number one. And by the way, if you're not a coder and you don't understand all that stuff like creating functions and all that, that's fine. You can just use the stuff and focus on the videos where I'm just showing you how to actually use the scraper. So you don't necessarily have to be a coder to be involved with this project. This is about helping people out there who want to be able to pull data from Etsy into Google Sheets without actually, it costing them any money. Number two, you're going to create functions that extract data from listings, such as title, price, quantity sold, etc. Right? That's the second step, okay, that I'll have to do. We'll have to do. The third step is going to be to actually create macros that will read Etsy listings on the spreadsheet and print the data. In other words, I want to be able to actually just put eBay Etsy URLs on the spreadsheet and then get the results right there in Google Sheets. A macro will actually do that. Those are basically app script functions that will have that job. Okay, all of this will make more sense when you see the actual process in the other videos. Right. Step 4: create. I have an extra word in here I need to take out. Should be create menu items or buttons that allow us to scrape at the click of a button. So here's the thing. Sure, I'll have macros that can actually read the Etsy listings on the sheet and can print data, but how am I going to run them, right? I need a menu, I need buttons, I need something to click on that makes all this stuff happen, that actually does all this stuff. All right, so these are the 4 major steps that we will have in building a scraper of any kind in Google Sheets. And lastly, how the progress of the scraper will be shared. I will record a video of each part of the scraper building process, and the links will be provided so that you can access the most updated copy of the script in the Google Sheet templates. This content will be shared on a Google Drive folder, and so you'll be able to go in that folder, open the folder, open files, and then it's very important that you go to File, Make a Copy, and copy those files onto your own drive. Okay, so basically what you want to do is just go to the description of this video for links. That's where all the links are. That's where all the information is. And from there, you can get involved with this project. And that's it. I'm Mr. Mark, and I look forward to seeing you here on this Etsy scraping project.